And meanwhile, in the face of all this, Donald Trump holds a party at Mar-a-Lago, and the theme is The Great Gatsby. I didn't make that up. And while that got a lot of headlines, I don't know if it's the headline of the day, but we'll start with John. I guess the question remains for us. Um, the government shutdown. Now, I'm talking to Republicans and Democrats, and there seems to be no end in sight. And this week, if all goes down, we will break a record for the length of a shutdown previously owned in the last Donald Trump administration. And I think he also owns the second place in government shutdown. So have at it, my brother.
We did see movement late last week among rank and file senators, both Republican and Democratic senators. I was on the Hill one day last week, and in the morning vote, they were voting on Trump nominees. There was really no movement, but there was talks. But by the afternoon vote, as senators were headed back to their offices and hearings and whatnot, they were talking about things picking up and people closer to leadership joining the talks. Now, there's no deal in sight, but this is kind of the beginning, could be the beginning of the process to come up with something. One
I think
thing
you're
that
hopeful, but go ahead.
I'm not hopeful, and I'm getting to that. Now, senators like to do this. They want to sound hopeful
Yes.
for their constituents because they have been doing nothing. So they have to now start talking about, well, we're doing something. I'm a Democratic senator. I'm talking to Susan Collins. I'm a Republican senator. I've had a conversation with Patty Murray on the floor, that kind of thing. I've talked to Tim Kaine. So we'll see this week, because what we're starting to see, big airport delays, federal benefits for food aid and heating aid. And by the way, it's cold. I went for a jog yesterday morning, and I had to wear a heavy shirt and gloves. So suddenly, just like it does every year, it's suddenly winter almost. So people are cold and hungry. They're waiting at airports. This is when it gets real, as we used to say. The kids don't say that anymore. We used to say that when we were kids.
I still say it's getting real.
Yeah. So now it's going to get real, and it's going to get more and more real. You're starting to hear chatter about standalone bills for the SNAP benefits, for the home heating aid, stuff like that. The deal to unlock the government would be some kind of agreement on SNAP and the Obamacare subsidies. That's probably where the deal will come together. Here's why the senators sound hopeful, but I'm not. John Thune is the Republican majority leader. And this week he's talking up these talks. Well, if there's a deal that's going to come from rank and file, and so the rank and file start talking. But Thune has also said he doesn't want a deal. He just wants the Senate Democrats, or three more of them, to vote for the clean House CR. And the House might have to come back now, because November 21st is 19 days away. That's how long the House bill goes with funding. So the House might actually have to come back and pass something longer, send it to the Senate, and Thune would say the same thing, pass the second House CR. So he's talking about these talks toward a deal while saying, I don't want a deal, just vote for the House bill. So at some point, these two things don't line up, right? So that's why I'm not as optimistic as some of the senators started sounding. By the way, they left. That doesn't mean they can't talk. Everybody's got a cell phone. But we don't see a deal. They're not really talking about the specifics of what that deal would look like. They're just saying, we're finally talking. But as John McCain used to tell me and other reporters, I covered defense. I chased him around the Capitol for a number of years. As long as we're talking, there's a chance. So there's a chance here. I'm not that optimistic. I don't think when we reconvene this time next week to record that the government will be open. I think we're a couple weeks away. And of course, Trump Truth Socialed that he wants Thune to blow up the legislative filibuster, to change the rules so you don't need 60 votes to get on a bill. You could just pass bills with 51 votes. And of course, they have 54 plus the vice president. He's also said, but Trump is contradictory there.
Yeah.
So change and he goes on. It's not just the shutdown. He says we can pass all kinds of bills, but Trump, as recently as last week, repeated himself that we don't need any more legislation in this term because we passed the one big, beautiful bill. So everyone's contradicting each other. Senators are sounding optimistic, but how much of that is just theater? So I'm not optimistic. I think we're a couple weeks away. But as we get closer to that, and by the way, feds aren't
Hold
getting
on,
paid.